Hi, hello, good morning. It is the 23rd of December 2025, and this is just a quick video. Now, if you look at this wall here, this is a picture that I had hung for me above what would have been the original fireplace to the house that I'm renting. Now, these beautiful handmade, I always forget what they're called. They're not mermaids. There is like a pagan name for them, and they're like the Seven Sisters of the Sea or something. Were made at the Mercian Gathering by a lady that does it every single year, and the money she raises goes to a local charity. Now, yes, they are hanging on the wall. However, they are actually hanging on previously drilled holes with screws in. So let me say that again. They are hanging on previous holes that were in the wall with screws in before I moved into the property. So obviously the Seven Sisters of the Sea, I've only got the two, they are mine. The picture is mine. But the screw holes and the screws were from the previous tenant or the landlord. Therefore, again, when renting a property, this is why checking in and checking out photos are really important. Because I am not going to be billed for previous damage to this property before I even moved in. And yes, those photographs of these screw holes and the red raw plugs are on my checking in photos. Now, this beautiful, well, I say beautiful, it didn't actually go on as well as I'd liked, mirrored self-adhesive mirrored plastic vinyl, whatever you want to call it, I put on myself. And the reason I put that on is you can probably see how dark the room is right now, and that is with the light off and the curtains open. And one trick to obviously make a room brighter but also helps to save energy is by having a mirror or something reflective in the room that can reflect whatever light source you're using to make the room brighter. So again, please be vigilant. Make a list of everything that was in the property, any marks, any scratches, any scuffs, any holes, whatever. You are not responsible for them if they were there before you moved in. Okay? Again, there are some over here in this wall. There are visual signs if you look hard enough above here. And also here as well. I have not put these in. They were there before I moved in. Again, I didn't take it off the door. This little bunny rabbit was on the wall before I moved in, and I just left it. And this wall, as you can probably see, oh my God, I didn't actually realise how bad it was. Look, you can actually see the like wire mesh, or like a bit like what I call plaster of Paris, is awful. And again, I am not going to paint that wall. Or if I do paint it, I'm going to take photos of what it looked like before I painted it and prove that this was the state that this wall was in when I moved in. And the reason this wall looks like this is because they have knocked the room through. Most of the properties in this street that are rented have done the same thing. They've made them all open plan. So there's your kitchen, but there's my extension. So that's the extension, but this would have been the kitchen. And there are no doors on here. That is just open plan. And this wall is just, ever since I've moved in, this is what it's looked like. There are just cracks and structural cracks in this wall everywhere. I'm just trying to figure out how solid it is. And sometimes you can tell how good it is by how hollow it sounds. And if you look up there, yes, there are spider webs, but again, there are visual signs that at some point something was on this wall and has just been whitewashed over. But all of this, you are clearly going to know, is not from me. One, because of the colour differentiation between the paint that I'm currently using. And I mean, look how thick it is. Look how thick these blobs of paint or plaster have been put on this wall. And for it to then just have these massive, massive cracks in it completely. Sorry.